Hello, it is the most scorned movie critic on YouTube, Von Fry speaking. Today we are watching Fight Club on Hulu, which I believe it's leaving Hulu. Where would it go next? Probably Tubi, super unlikely Disney Plus. This is the least woke movie going, one that the world really needs to know more about in these times of need for masculinity. Before we get started, I want to give a quick mention to my buddies over at CALDERALab.com, makers of the finest men's skincare in the USA. Use my promo code FRY15 to save 15% at checkout. Alright, so this is a commentary track for Fight Club from 1999, directed by David Fincher, starring Edward Norton and Brad Pitt. And Helena ends up in way too many movies that she's obnoxious. Now, if you want to watch this on Hulu or wherever the hell it may be streaming, in sync with me, go to 0000 and hit play now. It's a Fox movie. That's kind of why I think there's a chance it can end up on Tubi. I feel like every 20th century Fox film should be on Hulu by default. And if Disney Plus wants some of them, put them on Disney Plus too. All the Star Wars films, you know, while they were under Fox anyhow. Those should all be on Hulu, really. Regency. Are there a lot of good movies with Regency production logo? No, there aren't. I already looked it up. This is a movie that, I always say this is a movie. It's been a little while since I've seen this. I know it has some sus CGI in places. You know, come to think of it, the beginning here is this is 1999, but you know, the X-Men kind of runs with this sort of like insides, formulation, mutant gene. I think that the Hulk does this. I haven't actually seen the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. I'm assuming it may have a similar intro. Granted, far different music. I think this movie kicked off Rob Bottin effects, special. I didn't realize that. Any rate, I think this movie kind of kicked off a bit of a subgenre in the self-discovery films that were coming about from about maybe 99 to 2001, maybe 2002, that sort of turn in the millennium. A lot of like existential films inquiring, where did we come from? What's life all like? I've seen this several times, and I owned the very well-produced DVD combo back in the day. Look, 20 years ago, Fight Club had a DVD out that was considered the best DVD packaging. Lots of discs. Very insightful, watched it with the director's commentary, all that. Movie starts at the end. Typically, I frown upon that. I am drinking a new Rockstar. Full strength. Trying not to spill it on me, but I've taken precautions. See, we got a little CGI right there, but honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, it's in a theater, first time you're watching this, it passes, right? And in a lot of ways, this is such an ADHD music video type way to draw out these edits, to storyboard that. It's not necessarily something they do anymore, but for a time, it became popular. This and The Matrix really upped the game in what we could do with edits. Rest in peace, Meatloaf, Bob. Got me some popcorn. Some of you have frowned upon me eating popcorn during these. When you get upset about me eating popcorn, it tells me you got to the part where I ate popcorn, that you didn't just leave within 5 seconds. And for that, I thank ye. I haven't read the book this is based on. I think there was a follow-up film. It's called Choke, directed by Agent Coulson, I believe. It's not a sequel to Fight Club, but from the author or the writer of Fight Club. But here we have Edward Norton. He is so burned out. Our first flash frame of Brad Pitt, and that occurs more often in the film. Look, you got like the Krispy Kreme. See, it's a CGI canister, the garbage there, because it has to be CGI for you to worm the camera through it like that. Edward Norton, I believe his name is never mentioned. He's just the narrator. I believe he's credited as narrator. And that's interesting. There's fun ways to not give somebody's name and then try to put it out there in the credits, or in discussion. He's gotten to this monotonous life, but we've done such an incredible job editing this, kind of bringing it into a sort of fairy tale storybook. Like, look at this walk he has through his, like IKEA purchased apartment building. And for a time, this was like really wowing you effects type stuff too. Whoa, wow, how can he be walking? They have the text on the screen. Whoa. Edward Norton, he may not be the most charismatic star, but he certainly has some range to him. He can be kind of funny. He can be the thin little squirt here, right? But hell, just a year prior, American History X, he was yoked. Chew some root and get some exercise, huh? Doctor inadvertently recommends there's, another flash frame appearance of Brad Pitt. That won't just be for shits and giggles. They make hell, if you're watching at this point, you're listening to me. You've seen the movie, right? I hope. The movie is very much shot in the dark, isn't it? Not a lot of key light. So now our narrator, he has to bounce between these support groups where he kind of, makes it up. He just kind of takes in these other people's suffering, and that helps him get by. Typically, I would think that anybody who really found everything so down, I'm just one in the rat race, it's a cog, okay. Anybody who actually got into that kind of depression would probably be pretty dangerous, eventually cracking under the pressure, lashing out on others. Uh-oh, we had to buddy up. I believe Meatloaf is actually a good deal shorter than Edward Norton. Edward Norton's also taller than Brad Pitt by, I think, a couple of inches. It would be really difficult for me to play the tall guy in this scenario. Even if, suppose, Meatloaf is standing on an apple box. If I was on the apple box, I have noticeably short arms. Hell, maybe they may as well credit him as Cornelius in the credits, huh? Never met a Cornelis, have you? Let me know in the comments below. And then something happened. I was able to cry, I was able to break free, and I slept like a baby, right? Shroud of Turin moment right there. Addicted to support groups. Isn't that... The concept of this whole movie is just brilliant, isn't it? Every once in a while you get something. You know, I say every once in a while. Every once in a while you used to get something brilliant as a concept in film. Not really anymore, do you? Your better concepts now are probably going to be applied to a streaming series. Because to have a film come out is now such an exercise in marketing and checking all the boxes, hit all the demos. On Reddit this morning, I answered this thread. It was like, Big Bang Theory is a show about smart people for dumb people. Is there a show about smart people for smart people? And I said, no, there isn't. Because there's just not enough smart people for that to be marketable. We're going to get some CGI penguin action here. Maybe this is where Rob Bottin steps in, though. Maybe there's a practical penguin. Yeah, you can tell the eye on that is not quite up to today's level of effects, but you know, I think in a lot of ways it fools enough people. It would at the time, it would in a theater be acceptable. Let's cry it out, Bob. Marla. Walking in like she knows she is auditioning for a Tim Burton film career. Showing up at all these meetings for things she don't have. Look, sickle cell. It's a bunch of black people, except Marla and Edward Norton. I would not say this is a beautiful movie. As far as the cinematography goes, I think there are a lot of scenarios here where it is made to look ugly. And in a similar way as The Matrix. You know, they want this world to be depressing looking, to look dirty. I've lost count here, but if you're doing our drinking game, that could be 4th or 5th flash frame for Brad Pitt. I was just thinking about Meryl Streep today. Never attractive, but used her talent to get all the roles. You know, big round of applause for who'd she call God? Oh yeah, Harvey Weinstein. I wonder what she had to do with him. using her support group to court a tryst. Can't blame her. You know, it's stage 4 cancer for you. Guided meditation. You don't really get any unguided meditation when you go somewhere. We're just going to free flow meditation, freestyle. Everybody just freestyle your meditation right now. I think that as movies go with narrators, this does quite the strong job. It would be so hard to convey this below the surface inner struggle without heavy narration. So you have to make it work. You have to make it look good, right? But if for the majority of films, I feel like it is stronger to show, not tell, to have an understated quality in the performance that the audience looks for. This may not be doable without narration. How many support groups is he a member of? I saw you practicing telling me off, huh? You know something? This could be a more fortuitous dating meetup. You know, the only other faker in town. Do get a lot of comment now, right? This is the only movie my family rented at Blockbuster but didn't finish watching. There is a point where it was at least my mom, dad, and I, maybe my little brother, probably later in 1999. And I will get to the point where, I'll let you know the point where my dad shut off the VCR and took this back to Blockbuster. And I was kind of in agreement with him too, because it was like, this is just a big mess. This doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's like, you hate everybody. Everybody's so spiteful. But things do make some sense, and this might be kind of pioneering in the film category of finish stronger than you start. You know, oh, you can't just write that off right away. I'll tell you something. As a 10-year career as an indie film festival programmer, you can spot the bad stuff that's not going to make it into the program, that won't be in the festival. There is no movie I ever came across that redeemed itself after the 20-minute mark. So, and therefore, the festival had a 20-minute rule. If it's bad at 20 minutes, we can just kind of take a vote at the screening and move on to something else more worth our time. At the 20-minute mark, you should have your inciting incident. You should know your characters well enough. You've certainly seen a display of skills. Is it polished enough to look like people would pay money to go see this? First time you saw Fight Club, does it make the 20-minute mark for you? You know, we're coming up to the 20-minute mark here, and I think it's intriguing enough to keep you going. And when I saw this and there wasn't a lot of things like it, it was easier to be turned off by it because it was just too different from what else you've seen. Unconventional. You know, it helps that I was, I don't know, was I maybe 14 at the time? There's Brad Pitt. We're going to have a chance encounter with this mysterious traveler, right? For a time, I did rock the Brad Pitt from Fight Club haircut, but I did so a little too after the fact. Like 2005. 2005, I had quite the Brad Pitt look, let me tell you. I had the Brad Pitt from Fight Club abs. Certainly the other muscles, my biceps were way better. I definitely had the abs. I have the photos to prove it. You got Brad Pitt in the hotel instructional promo right there. He's kind of just popping up in this guy's life, you know? If you think about Edward Norton's job, his occupation here, really makes you hesitant to believe the way companies treat customers. I work for a major, as he puts it, I work for a major automotive manufacturer. Won't tell you which one, but they send me out to assess if the problem occurred enough in these crashes to necessitate issuing a recall. And that the recall only comes up. Yeah, see, he's looking at A, B times C, and then equals X, and you only issue the recall if it would be cheaper to recall than to be sued. So you're gonna have to have a bunch of freak accidents before the company knows. They just have to let it happen to a few people before they determine it's worthwhile to recall. Prayed for a mid-air collision. This scene got a lot of hype. In the day, this was the scene people talked about. What about the plane crash in Fight Club? I don't know, is this doing anything for you guys? Have we been marveled out of our mind? Marvel movies promising us the moon and delivering it to some degree, to the point that we're just numb to all effects, right? Now, I don't really care for Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt's character's styling here. Always rocking rose-colored glasses. Got a kind of, he doesn't have the red leather here, but he oftentimes wearing red. But a bit of a 70s collar type scenario going. See how he's got this collar popped, like big flared collar over his blazer? Kind of surprising, it seems like we haven't had a Brad Pitt, Edward Norton reunion, right? Though the director of this, David Fincher, previously had worked with Brad Pitt on Seven, so something of a reunion for those two. It is my understanding the director of Bullet Train was a stunt double for Brad Pitt in this film. Gotta wonder at what points will he look like he's been switched out for a double. Let's try to keep an eye on it. I sell soap. Yeah, and when he says Tyler Durden here, I thought he said Tyler Dirty. Tyler Dirty selling soap, I think makes more sense to me. If one were so inclined to make those explosives, right? single serving friend I've ever met, because see, we're never going to see each other. Oh yeah, I get it. I don't fly enough. Do you want to pass with the crotch or the ass? Which way do you go? Got a mishap here with his luggage. Also is going to have a mishap with his apartment. You know, it's weird. My electric razor does have some feature on it where it has a light that pulsates when it's shook. And that's supposed to indicate to you that it is preventively not turning itself on. Like, I don't know why I need to know about that. Let's steal that Camaro. Yep. Is that a Brad Pitt stunt double taking off with that car, jumping in and taking off? You got to ask yourself. I'm really going through this popcorn. Explosion, eh? We'll come to find out this is possibly more planned. Blew all of his stuff out the window. Well, I guess I could call Tyler Durden. And those are the days, though. I mean, you put on the overcoat. Yeah, more fanciful CGI showing what may have caused this explosion, right? I mean, you couldn't even really think about convincing an audience this was realistic 10 years earlier, right? Like 1999, good time to try this. 5 years earlier, probably wouldn't fly. 10 years earlier, certainly it would be out of the question. Payphones, guys. When's the last time you saw one? When's the last time you used one? I don't think I have personally used a payphone. I have seen people use them. When you have a, Prince song, 1999 from 1982. If I got a dime, girl, that's about it. So it used to be at one point a dime you'd put in. I wonder for how long it was dime. Oh yeah, the clever guy. Yeah, how you doing? I mean, realistically, even if you want to say you don't know anybody, did Tyler Durden strike you as a upstanding guy to kind of hang out with for a bit? All my stuff's gone. All that stuff, That's the world we're in right now, aren't we? We're just filled with that stuff. You go and you do your job to buy your stuff. So we're still there. And I don't think this movie is going to be on the line of, oh, it aged badly, right? So he used a payphone. You're not going to get pulled into the minutia of what kind of phone did he... Oh, he used an outdated iPhone 3, right? There's not a lot of hopping on the internet in this. If you were to have a modern equivalent to Fight Club, it would be about women, right? And they'd have to be texting a whole lot. This guy Tyler, he sounds like he has all the answers. It's been a little while since I've seen Edward Norton. A few years, but last I saw, he kind of looks largely how he does in this movie still. And Brad Pitt, similar enough. I mean, they could reprise these roles for a Super Bowl commercial, sell some beer or whatever. There we go. We got that leather jacket and that shirt that is woefully not buttoned appropriately. Clearly, you called me because you need a place to stay. You just want him to ask. Here's the trailer line here. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Boom, 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 boom. Smash that up with a whole bunch of different movies, kind of show what your cable channel has to provide. Let me tell you about Tyler Durden. And here we go with the stuff that is sus. Important to note that he likes to edit the dongs into the movies. I have a film roll kicking around somewhere that looks very similar to the one right of Tyler Durden right here. We're giving you a little bit of that, hey, movie critic, you're really into film stuff, right? So let's talk about movies. Kind of win you over in case we lost you for a sec. Thankfully, the movie's not about the movie industry. But the payoff to this introduction of Tyler Durden and how he's trolling the audience here, the payoff comes at the very end. And I have heard, I've read, China had recently edited the ending of Fight Club. It's like, so how are they watching it for the past 20 years, But they changed the ending in some way. And I thought, okay, well, the part that they're changing, they're editing out is the big giant cock at the end of the movie. The one frame cock in the end of the film. No, it was more about not showing them committing terrorism, taking down a building, just a black card comes up with text saying that they were apprehended and everybody was okay. Authorities apprehended them just in time. What was the tip-off? How did that work out? Doesn't matter. Just Deus Ex Machina. Good guys win. Be a nice subservient Chinese factory worker. Go back to Foxconn and make those iPhones. Come on now. You don't even know how to fight. It's the problem with men these days. They don't know how to fight, right? Who would have thought 20 years later, same problem. All right, now he's going to show you how to really punch. Though I'm not really sure that's a great punch either. It really hurts. Hit me again. Oh yeah, they've roughed each other up pretty good right there. We got some busted lips, bruising around the eye. Look at Tyler Durden there, just walking in the gutter. Not a care, just I'm tromping through the water. My shoes are trash. Not Air Jordan. I say that because in 1999, who else has a collectible shoe, really, right? Now you got to ask yourself, this ran down, dilapidated, surely condemned, minor mansion of sorts, manor. What's it doing with running water and electricity still on? How's it hooked up to the grid? Guys seeing them curious about the fight and they want to get in too. Then it gets to be a, if you know, you know. Hey, you see the bruises on me? Yeah, you're part of the thing. And what does everybody know about Fight Club? The first rule of Fight Club, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club, really not a great way to market. Certainly, it stresses, don't talk about it. I mean, it's certainly a way to stress that you want to keep it clandestine operation. I believe Jared Leto is in this. I looked him up, and he has like $100 million net worth for what I could not tell you. But, if he can play second fiddle second fiddle or further down in so many movies and accumulate $100 million. I think the same year he might have been in Madonna's Beautiful Stranger music video. Maybe. Or is the guy that looks similar to him? You know what? I'm thinking that was a stunt double right there. I don't think that they let Brad Pitt drive around bottomless on a bike. You know what? I'm going to reach out. When I finally get my goddamn blue check mark and am able to communicate with blue check marks on Twitter, I'm going to ask the director of Bullet Train if he rode the bike in Fight Club. It's interesting that we show this guy, the narrator. He's so very isolated. No friends. His chance to kind of meet people is through these groups of which he doesn't belong. No family. Perfect scenario of a loner type to be dangerous for society, right? And ultimately, if you want to paint him as the terrorist, bringing down the system, wiping the slate clean on people's credit card debt. He's sort of groomed to be in that position, isn't he? To either be a nobody or to lash out to that extreme. Yeah, we're like Ozzy and Harriet here. Perfect couple on TV. Yeah, you got your tie? All right, see you at work, whatever. And I think the city they're in is nondescript. The city. Not the first time that David Fincher has done this. The city in 7. I almost called it 5. City in 7 does not have a name. It's essentially Los Angeles, where it should be, though it rains the whole damn movie. He's acting out a little bit at work, looking kind of weird. All these spots on him. Bloody gums, bruises. Walking in like the boss, eh? For whatever reason, when these guys show up at a bar, they have to close down the bar so that they can go to the basement. I mean, it kind of seems like you want to still work the bar part, make your revenue during the hours. Here we go. We're going to lay down the rules. Every week. So we're meeting up once a week. There you go. I remember Jay Leno on The Tonight Show had a little bit where he was in the movie. And he's writing down, okay, I got it. First rule. Wait a minute. Second rule, that's the same as the first. Find you a bro who knows all the rules to Fight Club. Everybody knows the first two. It is my understanding. I thought that Netflix was developing a Fight Club reality show series, like possibly not so much a scripted series, and not necessarily including anybody from film, but hell, you could get Edward Norton to be the host of a reality fight competition that fought in a scenario similar to the bar basement of Fight Club, with the similar environment and the same rules, right? Though, gaming commissions, I don't know how that's going to go down, but This was an incredibly influential film, and one that it was no hit at the box office. I don't think this turned revenue. It may have slightly, but cult hit it was indeed. And it was something everybody was talking about, in part because you weren't supposed to talk about, hey, don't talk about Fight Club. Which, okay, well, we should talk about Fight Club anyway, right? What if you had a film called Don't See This Movie, right? They're talking about male models and stuff here. They got this guy with his ass out on the bus stop poster, and you have to wonder if they'd actually allow that. And of course, as a commentary track from the director goes, we're talking about male models to Brad Pitt, who is not a male model, but you got to be thinking he'd be welcomed to be, I would think. I think Brad's about 35 at the time of this movie. So, fellas, if you're 35 and you want those abs, it can be done. Granted, when you are a movie star and you need to be in shape for a role, there are people who make sure that you get in that shape. When you're just some Joe Nobody with a day job, it's a little tougher to climb that. And also, bear in mind a bit the way the lighting is situated in this film, and it's going to make Brad look far more muscular than he actually is. He's, is it endomorph, the skinniest body type? As am I. It's like super hard to put on any weight. I have no butt whatsoever. Any excess weight I get goes to my face and my gut. And yeah, I could, if I got down to my fighting weight of 129, I would look more jacked than Tyler Durden. I'll tell you that. But you see, he really doesn't have a lot in the way of muscles. It's just he's so lean. And he has an interesting ab structure to him. It doesn't look like the typical six-pack. Started living our lifestyle, getting ready for Fight Club. Got to make sure if nails are short. Talking about who they want to fight. If any sort of figure, I want to fight William Shatner. I want to fight Lincoln. Yeah, man, back when I looked like that, I kind of felt like maybe I should walk around without a shirt on. Who's going to object? Now I look in the mirror and I got like a bit of roll around my, like a little bit of a love handles type thing going, which, and I think it might have been at this point where she just calls up and says that she's dying or whatever, that I think we turned it off. I'm trying to remember. I thought I knew this. I think it was when she called up and said this, but it might have been just a little bit later when they're having sex and it's like all 3D. And at that point, my folks who don't watch movies with your folks, guys, you never know what you're going to get into. I'm dying. I took all the Xanax. Man, does time fly when you're watching this movie. Scenes don't linger. Yeah, now here we are. This is where my folks are like, okay, I think we've had enough. According to Helena Bonham Carter, this is all CGI. It's not, we posed like this and then anything like, face swap, none of that. It's just a CGI thing, which, I mean, I could kind of see it either way. Like, trick edit would maybe give you a similar effect too, but Yeah, that was the point where my dad turned off the VCR. See, he didn't. He just thinks that he kind of just dreamt that they got it on. Actually, you're kind of not. You're certainly, as a viewer, confused as to what he may be thinking. He sees the rubbers in the toilet, thinking Tyler Durden hooked up with her, but why did he have a dream about it? And he's like, oh, this is what must have happened. He listened to her cry for help and came over. You know, if you wanted to memeify Fight Club, what would the Fight Club challenge be? Would it be, hey, try to have a conversation in the middle of the street and not look at where you're going and walk around through it? Or would it be start hitting yourself in a parking lot and see what happens? What would it be? Someone called the cops about her suicide attempt? I mean, who possibly could have done that? Look at how crummy this apartment is. It's just so unclean, isn't it? I mean, even compared to the ran down dump of this manor, right? Don't look much better off. Jack's raging bile duct. Since grade school. Not really listed as a comedy. Interesting scenario here. Tyler Durden says, like, hey, can't have you talking to her about me. Just don't say anything about me. And that comes into play. Because, as you know, it's a scenario of split personality disorder. And sometimes he's actually Tyler Durden. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's kind of witnessing himself doing the stuff. But, you know, when he sleeps, he can become Tyler Durden, essentially. Things don't check out, really add up for him as far as time. But if he was to mention, Tyler Durden to her like this, it could ruin the scenario for the Tyler Durden persona, right? In that needing to keep this guy thinking that they're two different people. Not doing too bad on the chest and the deltoids there. Who are you talking to? Get that? Should it be that surprising to her that she's... Okay, as the narrator or the new viewer would see it, there shouldn't be any question as to who he's talking to. There's only one other person that lives in the building, right? But to her, one person lives in the building. Can't smoke in here, huh? Snickers. When's the last time you said Snicker like that and didn't make reference to the candy bar? Round the clock love making up there, huh? Only but their attitude between each other is more like hate making, huh? Someone mess with your fridge to make it explode. There was dynamite in my fridge, huh? Isn't it amazing in a world with TNT dynamite that we actually have gang members who do drive-by shootings instead of just throw a stick of dynamite at somebody's house? The condo was my life, but it's not really anymore. You learn to go past the ownership and the material you get in your stuff. See, he's even putting on with the cop here. He doesn't care about that stuff anymore. So, wouldn't it be ironic? I'd like to thank the Academy if he actually got an Oscar nomination for this movie. Kind of overlooked, in 99, what won stuff? That'd be the 2000 Oscars, right? Is that the year of American Beauty? Let me look this up. I think it was. Yeah, American Beauty was kind of like your big darling there, and a movie I need to get around to watching. I think in a lot of ways it tells the similar of existential crisis type thing. From a more or less grounded, typical storytelling level, a little more digestible. And your winner for lead actor at that time, Kevin Spacey, the villain from Seven. Get rid of her. That's your job. She doesn't see the two of them in the same room at the same time. You're getting clues that something is amiss. And you need tiny clues so that when the reveal occurs, it's not out of left field. It's not, oh, well, there's just some random crap. I like his fall leaves shirt. Man, there was a place online sometime back where you could get clothes that were essentially like what Brad Pitt wore in Fight Club. All right, we're going to make soap. So that's the trick to getting over razor wire, barbed wire fences, guys. You throw carpet over it. Liposuction clinic's got the best fat to make the soap. Is this how Dr. Squatch does it? Fat of the Land. Now that sounds like a band name. Don't pull. Ooh. Trying to catch some of his hands anyway. Ooh. Remember, he did say that soap could be quite the explosive when we're so inclined. Dash of sawdust and you got dynamite, huh? Makes you wonder if somebody at the Dr. Squatch factory is like kind of doing a little dynamite on the side concoction, right? Perfect crime. A lot of stuff you can do with soap here. Here, we're going to give you a lye burn, right? Can you get Fight Club soap somewhere? That's a soap. You know, like the poster had with the pink puck of soap that says Fight Club on it. And they do make a kind of joke here that this doesn't really work. In the director commentary, his hand just disappears into her crotch because it was the whole scene was composite. There is a lot of burning right there, a lot of chemical burning of that hand. Tyler Durden really seems dangerous. Oh, I know how it feels. It looks like he has a mouth on his hand. If it's on his palm, it would be like Vampire Hunter D. This is not the way friends treat each other, guys. Is it not astonishing you could go to a department store to sell the soap? Would this be the way to do it? Don't they have buyers? You know, you just walk up to the lady behind the counter and do this business? And $20 a bar? I was just at the grocery store where they had Dr. Squatch, and I thought I hadn't seen Dr. Squatch on the shelf before. They wanted $6.69 for it, and I thought, geez. $20 a bar of soap in 1999, guys. Wrap your head around that. In 1999, the most high-end Mercedes you could get would be like $100,000. The most expensive car you could get would probably be in the realm of Lamborghini Diablo. You know, looking at about $300,000. Of course, the McLaren F1 just ended production. $1 million car, starting at $870,000 at the time. You could option it to $1 million. Telling off the boss. Okay, now I'm wondering. Maybe it's the point where she says my tit's gonna rot off. Maybe that's the point where my dad turned the VCR off. Maybe that is the point. You know, we were just kind of like disgusted by what all was happening, and then when it built to this. You know, he's torturing this guy. These two are banging all this. Is not appropriate to watch with your mom. My tit's gonna rot off, and now we're done. That may have very well been the point at which we turned this off. She just really wanted to get handled by him. Well, that's a relief. Got to put on my American accent for this movie. I mean, I'm assuming that her and Johnny Depp get along well. They kind of cross paths on occasion. Was she one of those people that had all the good things to say for him during his little trial with Amber Heard? Cornelius, it's me, Bob. Unfortunately, we are going to rope Bob into Fight Club. I think Krispy Kreme in 1999, I think that was the year where people outside of the city of which it's from, maybe it's Seattle or whichever, I don't know, wherever their base is, this was the year that people across America got the name. It's really not too far from this time that Starbucks also blew up in a similar fashion. I wonder if you see any... Do you see Starbucks in like a 95 film? I know, I have to remember now. Was it Starbucks that when going to go get coffee for somebody in 7, were they drinking Starbucks? Probably not. Well, it's your first day, which means you have to fight. I thought we had a rule about no shirt. Seventh rule of Fight Club, there's an exception for Bob. He's tapped out. Yeah, no refs, guys. Good luck getting that past any board if you want to make that reality show. You know, I spoke of the influence of Fight Club. I think it was Tekken 4 or 5, maybe 4. Had a Fight Club-like underground fighting basement circle of guys serving as a sort of ring out bumper of sorts. It was a really cool level, and I wonder if they did that in any of the Tekken games thereafter. There might have even been a Fight Club video game with a similar design about it. Still in a time when a lot of movie license stuff would end up gamified to some degree. Buying shit we don't need. That's advertising. Now we subscribe to stuff we can't own. There with the peroxide blonde hair and eyebrows, that's Jared Leto. Whom a year later, small role in the another introspective, what it's like to be a man type movie, right? American Psycho. And Jared Leto is like the final word on skinny dude. Uh-oh. The guy who owns the bar. This is looking like a mafia shakedown type thing. Lou's Tavern. I'm Lou. And we have a gun pulled, guys. There are a couple of guys with their hands up. But Tyler Durden, I mean, it's kind of hands up, but it's also not. Now, this is an interesting villain-like tactic. This is something you could see the Joker doing. And just laughing your way into more punishment, wearing him out that way. Oh, got it. Oh shit, I lost it. Oh, no cardboard mat to fall on there. Kind of getting off on the beating, right? Well, these look like some pretty serious punches. And just trying to cough his blood into him. It's like I'll show you a real psychotic right here. Joker, it's like Ledger's Joker before Ledger, isn't it? You could envision that Joker doing something like this. Now that is leadership, guys. There may be some familiar faces to recognize briefly in the background in places here. Some of the men in Fight Club. I know there's like, one of these background. Okay, the guy in the blue shirt on the left. I've seen him. The guy just left of Jared Leto. I know I've seen him somewhere recently-ish in a bigger role, but I saw that he was credited being in Fight Club. I thought he must have been one of the guys in the club. All right, you got homework assignments now. You have to pick a fight with somebody and lose. And that is how you don't talk about Fight Club, but you expand Fight Club. It's kind of ingenious. We got a shitload of, cones and cross sort of sculptures. We got a Goodyear tires outfit. We have a guy selling or trying to sell Cadillac Sevilles. Oh, is this we need to talk? Are you going in there to pick a fight with your boss and lose? Is that what we're trying to do with your homework assignment? Up for review, huh? Jack's complete like a surprise. Well, who's Jack? He's thinking, right? I'm going to blackmail the company into letting him keep his job while not doing his job. You guys don't want a whistleblower, do you? Outside consultant who doesn't have to go to a job, doesn't have to do anything, just has to keep secrets. Now that is a job, guys. I mean, beating up oneself is picking a fight and losing it, right? If Ledger's Joker had to work white collar desk job, he could beat himself up to blackmail someone into looking like they, roughed him up, right? You want to keep that secret, right? Oh man, you're going right through the bookshelf. Isn't that kind of the way Terry Silver got taken out in the latest season of Cobra Kai? Into the display case glass, right? Another way to look at this is he's mimicking Tyler Durden, or so he feels. You want to get what you want? Display like this, and maybe it'll work out for you. Fight Club going big, got corporate sponsorship, as he puts it. I'm going to have to look up where I've seen that guy I mentioned, where I'd seen him more recent. It was probably some kind of streaming series thing that I've reviewed, or a movie of more recently. Causing a little bit of mayhem over here. Magnetically erasing those VHS tapes. Tire spikes. Not sure why, but they decided not to hit the Toyota. You thought maybe they were going after the more expensive cars. That they hit the BMW, skipped the Toyota. But they did go. But they did hit the Volkswagen. Updating the flight pamphlets, make them more horrifying. We never did see the excrement catapult. Yes, the old Apple logo. Look at those old Apple pre-iMac. So square, so PC looking. Human sacrifices the homework assignment, huh? How's this work? So he's going to go into this little liquor store and make this guy make something of himself through threats of violence here. Could this possibly be effective if they check in on the guy? Well, you're going to be a veterinarian now. We scared the shit out of you. I'm sorry, not liquor store, convenience store. It's hard for me to envision a convenience store as not a gas station, being from the Midwest. Really, we just have gas stations, and all gas stations are convenience stores in addition. It was the 90s. You could say run, Forrest, run without it being too gauche, I guess. You wouldn't hear anybody say it now as a movie reference in a film. It is an empty gun. He wasn't going to shoot him after all. Come on. It's okay to still like Tyler. He wasn't going to kill the guy. Now, that explosion at the Apple store could... And actually, were there Apple stores back then? Maybe not. The store with which had an Apple display could be dangerous for bystanders. Oh, singing all dancing crap of the world. Yeah, that's something used to kind of hear, kind of brought up, not like reference in other movies, but in an online forum for somebody's tagline, or yeah. Here's where I think reality comes crashing down on him. Maybe it's been a while since I've seen this, but I think he may mention, "Who do you think I am?" or whatever. Oh no, Chloe died. The smart move on her part, the suicide. Us. What do you mean us? See the confusion in her. She doesn't hear this fictional racket of Tyler Durden off somewhere else. That's in his mind. Check out my cool chemical burn. That this conversation is over. The way Tyler Durden, in almost like imaginary friend, drop dead Fred scenario, brought the words into Edward Norton's mouth, right? More of those little clues. And the recruitment here for this new project thing they're doing, it's reminiscent of the Kung Fu series, TV series, where it's like whoever wanted to become the monk, the kid that just stayed outside the longest was allowed in eventually when the others gave up. Man, this guy's legs, feet have got to be tired. We didn't have great shoe technology for long days on your feet. Oh yeah, I'm sure you want the cops showing up to this dump. Oh, Bob has shown up. Bob does not have to wait nearly as long. Project Mayhem, right? Though, really, it seems like they've already been doing Project Mayhem. They had Fight Club. And then they were doing Mayhem, the homework assignments, right? Kind of seems like they were already there. Actually, Bob, okay, he does have to wait longer. Forgot. Got scared off, but really wasn't. You gotta shave your head for Project Mayhem. Like a monkey ready to be shot into space. I don't think the monkeys had to be shaved down to go to space. I could be wrong. Jared Leto, you're too blonde. Not too skinny. Looks like they're, digging graves. I don't know if greater good would be the way to describe their goals. Almost a cult commune, right? Pepsi Generation Next. Oh man, that brings the member berries up, doesn't it? I'm gonna run out of popcorn. We got a lot of movie left. Smiley face on fire. Not bad work. See, now he's asking these questions and they're answering like we're not going to answer that. Like, you're the one who told us not to answer the questions, right? A scene like this little banquet over here, very reminiscent of other David Fincher films. Still, anytime you see these indoor gatherings like this, they look like they're all shot of clips from the same movie, don't they? I'm going to shake down the law enforcement. You really couldn't pull this off, group approach, unless you had a committed team, these people living in your house. Mention LA Times and NY Times. So what city is this? You know, it makes it clear we're the underrepresented underlings here doing the dirty work. Edward Norton's like, this is maybe getting a little too far. And I think at some point in Project Mayhem, they institute that no one has a name except in death. We'll get to that. Oh, I mean, it wouldn't prescribe fit towards Edward Norton in this. He does. I don't know how he lost all of his muscle from American History X, unless he was jacked first. They did those scenes, then he got skinny for the scenes that, you know, within the narrative take place before, only to kind of remain skinny for Fight Club. Really jacks up. I think is Jared Leto called like Pretty Boy? They're like, come on, man, you've gone too far. Ooh, he's gone limp. That was one of the rules. He's not even on the cardboard. Another one of those signature lines in a form. I felt like destroying something beautiful. All right, things are going to get kicked up a notch here. Recycle your animals. Kind of like that bumper sticker. Makes people think. You know, people know the name Fight Club. They'll mention it. They'll call things it. I was top of the leaderboard on Facebook's first game, Fight Club. I topped that leaderboard, and I think they eventually had to call it something else. Like they had. I think they had to change the name to like Fighters something. I don't remember. It's towards the end of when it was going. They didn't change the name to Project Mayhem. Let's see what driving without any hands is like. Wrong side of the road. Let's do this. Making them turn. You know, for as long as they had the oncoming traffic, they had to be going at slow speed. They would have crashed way sooner. Here we go with let's see what it's like to I Am Jack getting in a car wreck. Teaching you to let go, to not try to control things you can't control, yeah. Depending on your philosophy here, this may or may not be helpful. Might want to buckle up. Yeah, do we want to weigh, is this fatal for the people that are pulled over to the side of the road with car problems? And I believe that is the last time we will see Brad Pitt with that haircut. Yeah, it's climbed out here. Yeah, we're going to see him shaved head here, sort of as the narrator is coming to in and out of this coma. Well, okay, no, wait, we got him with hair. So it's going to be, the big reveal will be when we have shaved head, buzzed head, whatever. How he got out of that and didn't have to go to the hospital is kind of amazing. Getting a lot of work done of some kind, aren't they? Mischief, disinformation. Disinformation. Boy, has that come around to be timely. Pretty boy, yeah, looking really mangled. You can tell from his hand he's done the lie. Chemical burn. I kind of want me some of that soap. I'm going to look for it online right after this. He can't be, he's always going to be left out in the dark, the narrator, because he's not able to ask those who he had previously, that Tyler Durden gave orders to, they can't share with the narrator. I'm not so sure that you live here anymore, Marla. It's a little kind of turned into Project Mayhem frat. Now look at the confusion in her. understandable when you see this again and realize that she thinks his name's Tyler Durden. And he's referring to himself in third person. Uh-oh. Better get Mako. Remember that commercial? We have a situation. Operation Latte Thunder, a trashed coffee bar. Gotta hope that roll's correct. And it's not a Starbucks. The police shot Bob in the back while he is running. Man, it would be so much more appropriate if he was an African American. See, it doesn't happen to just you. Now, I think this is Rob Bottin work here. This Bloody Brains, you know. I mean, that's kind of what you gotta do, Jared Leto. Here we go. But sir, in Project Mayhem, we have no names. Even though you were out doing the stuff at the banquet and you mentioned Bob there, I think Project Mayhem had been established at that point. In death, a member has a name. There you go. His name's Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. This guy, who I, vaguely remember from something else, he's got one of the bigger parts in Project Mayhem, right? He starts the Robert Paulson chant. I have to find Tyler. This is getting out of control. Where is he? What is he planning? You know what? I'm looking this guy up. Screw it. Sometimes you just gotta look things up, man. Oh, he's not going to that office. He is going to find Tyler Durden. How far did this go? Everywhere he goes, people are like, hey, we know. Sir, wink, right? Never heard of him. Sir, wink. Like, he knows this operation is getting pretty big. Or at least covering ground. All right, Fight Club cast. Holt McClany. What did I see this guy in? Says he was in Wrath of Man. I haven't watched that yet. I'm going to have to pull up his IMDb, aren't I? No, he does not have facial reconstructive surgery for 3 years. The rumors are getting out of hand, right? I mean, this guy does kind of get around. Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. But what was it I was watching where I would have saw this guy? Oh, given the Robert Paulson chant. Fight Club video game 2004. This guy did a voice in it. So yeah, there was a Fight Club game. You know, it's something to have a game come out years after the movie, kind of retroactively, a retroactive pull with the not quite nostalgia, but the brand recognition in conjunction with it being a cult classic of sort, right? You know, get in on that status. The Mechanic. That's what they call this guy. But you know, I'm looking through his list of films. I'm trying to think what could I have seen him in lately. Maybe Jade. When did I watch that? I'm losing real track of time. No, Alien 3. That's it. He was in Alien 3 and must been pals with David Fincher, so he gets put into Fight Club. I'm Tyler Durden. Whoa. And now the reveal. So now you know. And those sunglasses, those Oakley sunglasses with the leather, I think Michael Jordan wore a pair like that briefly. And I was trying to look those up online just a few days ago. I was thinking, what were those Oakley sunglasses? They were round and they had leather, and I could not find them anywhere. But I remember seeing those on shelf back in the day. Probably thought they were incredibly expensive because at the time, you know, a couple $100 for sunglasses really seemed outlandish. We're the same person, that's right. Now, do you have the cojones to shave your head and wear the furry jacket here with the, I don't know, mesh tank top? You got the balls to do that for Halloween? Probably not. They see him beating himself up, and then they're curious. How do I get in on this beating myself up action? The times you imagine yourself watching me, yep. He doesn't sleep. Man, I guess you go completely crazy not sleeping, huh? If you could go that long. Most I've gone like 3 days without sleep, and then I ended up sleeping for like 24 hours as soon as I did fall asleep. All because I got a very tainted hot chocolate at McDonald's. Must have like a double shot of espresso sludge in there. I don't know. Took 3 sips, said this does not taste like hot chocolate, and then didn't sleep for 3 days. Maybe he's Tyler more than he is narrator, huh? And then Project Mayhem even works against him. He must have been like, hey, in case I ask any questions, make sure you do this, right? Because we kind of get to that point. Define right away. It's under control, sir. That's how he. Wait a minute. Excuse me? Yeah. Don't worry about us, sir. It's like, oh no. It's his own system working against him in a way, huh? Sir. I have this weird thing where, like, sometimes I walk around someplace and people call me boss, and I'm like, I haven't been employed since 2003. Who am I the boss of? No clam chowder. I know what you guys do to that. Sir, everybody nods. Don't you see? You're dating the king of the world, lady. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jackass. I'm trying to think. Was Jackass a thing in 99? I think it was. $2000. Oof. I was really out of MTV at that point. I watched MTV in like 99, up to that point. I was out of Nickelodeon summer of 97. Never seen SpongeBob. Well, that was like the loudest sound in the movie that showed up. I think it probably picked up on my mic. Oh no, copyright infringement enforcement here. Your video has been deemed problematic. You can't leave. She doesn't quite. She's not out of the picture yet. Now, this is interesting. He's like, look, I can't know where you're going. Otherwise, I can find you. Fine, it's an asshole tax. Fine, whatever. That's a hell of a way to say goodbye right there. Worst thing that ever happened to me. Oh, you're not supposed to look at where she's going. And I wonder, how serious would the police take this if you were turning yourself in with, such outlandish statements? I mean, he's got papers here to show them, a little something. Well, he's spilling the beans, isn't he? Here's where you'll find the body. Here's where we make the chemicals. TRW building. I'm assuming that's fictitious. And by confessing to the cops, it's able to work as a way to explain to the audience the scheme. Get rid of the credit cards. Everybody goes back to zero. That's he's going to take out this building. That's what I'm trying to stop. But these guys were part of the Fight Club. They're part of Project Mayhem. The cops know. We gotta take his balls, even if it's you. You told us you'd say you weren't Tyler Durden. Indeed. Alright, I am Tyler Durden. Now, new rules. New mission. You said you'd definitely say that. No. And some of this kind of feels like The Game from David Fincher, where it's like everybody's in on this. Everybody in the guy's life is in on this this game. Like, you knew, we knew you'd say that. We're too smart for our own good. Why couldn't he have yelled the whole time? I'm gonna run around with my pants down. You won't get far with your pants around your ankles. Or, well, at least they're off. It's a lead salad. Yeah, when people are distressed, they don't have the one-liners, The line makes sense for me. Man, I miss seeing these cars that look like cars. Everything now, it's like, how many cars can we make look like a obnoxious Prius type thing, Cops with a Taurus. Man, I've seen cops with Crown Vics, but Taurus, not so much. And you never see those rounded Tauruses on the road these days. Man, when they came up on the scene, about 96, I think, man, did you see those everywhere. Kind of a similar thing for Dodge Neon. It seemed like for a time that the Dodge and Plymouth Neon's so popular, why would they replace it with the Caliber? Laminated glass, guys. It stays in a piece there. No shatter. All right, now how do you disarm a bomb if you don't remember setting it? Though, if he is Tyler Durden with a split personality, he must have learned somewhere how to make all the soap, how to handle all that stuff, right? You would think that he'd have had to have learned that as the narrator to kind of know that it wouldn't really pan out, that he would know sooner that he had a split personality. But when I have dreams, sometimes I have dreams where I have memories of things that never happened in the real world. But in dreams, it's like I have a different personality, or like I have a different history of things that have happened that I take for a given. Well, which wire? I think he pulled the green one. How easy is it to break off a key, man? Fight. Yeah, let's go. Now he whips out the like kung fu hand gesture stuff. There we go. Sort of the hang loose kung fu gesture. Kind of hard to defeat your imaginary friend, huh? In the Fight Club video game, do you get a showdown with Tyler Durden in the parking lot? Oh yeah, you don't really want to get hit by a car antenna. Come on, you just gotta imagine yourself beating him up. It's like fighting Freddy Krueger. You got the security camera, documenting all of this stuff for World Star Hip Hop. And here we are at the beginning. And I'm trying to remember here at the logistics of this. There was a van with a bunch of okay, the nitroglycerin in the van, right? But are they in a different building than this one? Like, are they in a building that's set to blow up? Or are they watching other buildings blow up? Like, what exactly are we doing here? Though we could be getting a bit of a Thelma and Louise type ending here where they're in a building that is rigged to blow up, that does blow up, but we don't see it blow up. You know, we don't see Thelma and Louise go splat. I mean, I think the bomb is still alive because there had to be a reason for Tyler Durden to break that key off so that he couldn't get back into the van, right? You're not holding the gun. I'm holding the gun. Ah, he's using the tricks against him. I can't beat you up, but I can shoot myself. And this kind of mindset, you know, if you do this, you know, open yourself to the Matrix, they sort of, depressed white boys, this sort of stuff speaks to them, man. Yeah, credit him in the credits there as a Kia boy. That'd be interesting. And when he shoots himself here, Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt makes like this perfect smoke ring. They make a lot of fuss of that in the commentary. CGI, you know, shot in the head here. Miraculously, it's here we go, smoke ring. It's coming. Messed his jaw up pretty good. Like the smoke ring, yeah. And that's not an effect or anything. It's like just that's what happened. But yeah, so he performs like a lobotomy here to fix this. Very impromptu surgical procedure here on oneself. Never been better. Probably would be unable to talk after this procedure. Oh, you already know he's messed up. What do you mean? What kind of game? You know he doesn't even know. It's kind of the whole point, babe. See, I think some of these guys are leaving. Find gods, but okay, so you got the order to find gods. Some of these guys are leaving. Like maybe they know the building's going to blow up. And then we get Pixies' Where Is My Mind? Really the only memorable use of a song in this movie. And I feel like for most people, I think most mainstream audience, this is the first time they heard the song and they thought, wow, it's a cool song. Look, we're going to lose all those buildings, but not the one we're in? Or does it go to? Boom, cock. I thought that was the point that they were going to edit out in China, but no, instead of the buildings blowing up, we get black title card with text saying that they were apprehended just in time. I mean, I suppose the cops could have gotten wind of this. I mean, he tried to let them in on it. He said, go to the house. Maybe these guys moved all the evidence that would have led here, or the cops would have said, we went to the house, nothing happened. If the main cop that wasn't in on it didn't go, who's to say, right? But there you go. That's Fight Club. I think a movie pretty highly regarded. IMDb, I think it was, it's like a top 25 movie, if I'm not mistaken, or top 50. I don't know how that's progressed since I last looked at or anybody cared. What do you think of Fight Club? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, adios.